While this podcast isn't rated explicit, the content may not be suitable for younger listeners. Welcome to Sex for Saints, the Christian couple's guide to great sex. I am your host, certified sex and marriage coach, Amanda Lauder. This is episode 394, The Unexpected Intimacy of Creating Intimacy Products with Justin and Natalie Weeks. Welcome to Sex for Saints, a podcast for Christian couples. My goal with this podcast is to help enlighten, educate, and inspire you to understand yourself, your spouse, and your sexuality better. I talk about sex in a way you probably haven't heard before. I'm bold, I'm direct, but I keep everything in line with my strong Christian values. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I get approached all the time by companies wanting me to promote their intimate products. And I mean, all the time. I am pretty selective about what I recommend because, well, you guys trust me and I take that very seriously. But I get asked constantly by listeners, followers, clients, Amanda, what lube do you recommend? And if you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, you know that I am a big believer in lubricant and that it's just not optional. It's essential. So it can literally transform your sexual experience, whether you're dealing with dryness, friction, discomfort, or you just want to make things feel better or experience more pleasure. The right product makes such a difference. So today I'm talking with Justin and Natalie Weeks about their product called Evree, an intimate massage oil and lubricant. Now, I've known Justin for about a year, and I got to spend some quality time with him and Natalie at a business retreat back in June. And what struck me about them wasn't just that they created a product, it's why they created it and what happened in their relationship because of it. And their story is one that I think so many couples will relate to. So I'm excited to share it with you. So Justin, Natalie, welcome to Sex for Saints.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, we're honored. Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here. So before we dive into Evree and your story, I'd just love for you both to just introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about who you are and maybe what you were doing before this whole journey began.
I'm Natalie, and Justin's my husband. We've been married almost 20 years. We have 3 beautiful children, and that is where I spend most of my time and still do. I enjoy working out. I teach some classes that way. And I also work at the local high school here and help with the special needs kids. So that's something that I was doing prior to, but have continued on with as well.
And maybe to use her introduction to kind of highlight, I think, one of your questions about before and after is we're a typical family, I think anyways, with busyness with kids and coming and going. And I've been an entrepreneur and been actively engaged in business most of my life, which has come with a lot of time commitment. And so, as Natalie mentioned, we've been happily married for 20 years, or rounding that rather. And we have a busy family and a busy life. Before coming up with this, not a lot changed, except for utilization of this product, I think did have an impact on our marriage.
Okay, so take us back to the beginning. What was happening in your relationship, your life that made you think we need to create our own intimate product? Walk us through that origin story.
Well, I'm going to quickly start it and then turn to Natalie because I like to hear her say, but we were married, just over 10 years. And I was in a discussion with a friend one afternoon and he had said, hey, I got a massage table and bought some massage oil and gave my wife a massage. And he's like, that was a good thing, man. He's like, that made her so happy. And he's like, and it enhanced our intimacy. And he's like, I recommend you look into that. So I left that conversation thinking, that seems like a novel idea. And in addition to that, Natalie has always enjoyed getting a massage, going to a spa and getting a massage.
Yeah.
So I thought this would be great. And so I go get a massage table and some massage oil and come home and give Natalie a massage. And then I'll let her take it from here because it was her insights that really made this all happen.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Okay, so he did this, and we have this massage table set up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a massage," and I was like, "Sweet," because like he said, I love massages, and so I was like, "That sounds great." And so anyway, he gave me the nicest massage. It was awesome, and it was in the evening. We had put the kids down and everything, and anyway, and then at the end of the massage, I was like borderline falling asleep. 'Cause it was just so relaxing and everything. And I was like, oh, that was so awesome. And then I was like, oh, but I am so greasy now. I was like, I've got to go take a shower, And I was like, oh, that was lovely. Anyway, hopped in the shower, rinsed off and stuff. And then I came back and I was like, thank you so much. I was so grateful that he would just think to do that. I thought it was so nice. And he was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, oh, how nice would that be, though, to just be able to go and get massages and then just like fall asleep, right? Or just to have that in your home, just to be able to fall right asleep. But you can't because it's so oily and you don't want to ruin your sheets and all of that, And so that initially kind of sparked in his brain. I don't think he thought I was complaining. I wasn't complaining. I was so gracious and wonderful, but he kind of took it like, oh, well, that's a challenge. Okay. And so he kind of ran with it and was like, well, I'm going to go and see if maybe there's a different kind of oil or something else that we could do or use so that I could do that and then she could just fall asleep, It's kind of like challenge accepted. So he went to work on that and he came back to me and he was like, it's kind of just what it is.
Oh.
He took a friend that was a professional masseuse and it was like, there's nothing you can really do about it. Like, that's just what's out there.
But in that same conversation, that friend said, but if you figure this out, everyone will want the product.
Yeah.
And that's actually why we named the product Evree.
Oh.
It'd be a play on words, like everyone would love it every time, everywhere, every occasion. So anyways, that's just kind of a fun little thing about how we named it. But to Natalie's point, I'd met with a couple of places just trying to buy a massage oil that wouldn't be greasy and oily. And then that friend made that comment. So then knowing that everyone would want it, and I was thinking, we've got to be able to solve this.
Yeah.
And so that started a 6-year experience.
Okay.
It was a journey. But what we did was learned about different ingredients. And when we decided we were going to go down this road, we knew we wanted to come up with something that was 100% natural. So we started looking at 100% natural ingredients that could make for a good massage oil that would ultimately absorb into the skin as a moisturizer. That was the initial plan.
Awesome.
Then when we start down the road, then the same dialogue came up about intimate lubricants and that they're sticky and leave a residue on the skin, and people don't like that.
Yeah. And
we also learned in that experience, we were a little naive at the time, but we learned that there's a reason that there's a lubricants and massage oils. And if I just give a little bit of texture to that quickly, is massage oils oftentimes are not safe vaginally and can cause irritation and UTI.
Yes.
And so that's why there is such thing as a lubricant. However, lubricants are essential, as you started this podcast off with, but they don't translate into a good massage oil.
Not necessarily. Nope.
And so then it was like, okay, let's see if we can come up with a singular product that can function both. And so then the wish list was this: 100% natural ingredients, a product that would absorb into the skin like a moisturizer rather than leaving a residue on the skin. And then we also talked about massage oils and lubricants. They usually come in a squeeze bottle.
Yep.
And I think everybody, when I say this, will relate that you squeeze it out and it's running all over your hand or down your arm or wherever it's going.
Yes.
It's a mess.
You squeeze out too much and it doesn't go back in the bottle.
You nailed it. And so then we thought, well, is there an alternative to that? Which is why we now have a cream. And I'll give a little more explanation on that in a second. But back to the wish list, was then we also thought that it was neat that some massage oils smelt nice or were even edible.
Mm-hmm.
And then lubricants often would say that they were edible, but they didn't have any flavor or scent to them.
Yeah.
And we learned again, the reason for that is vaginal irritation.
Yep.
And so then it was like, oh, can we come up with a product that smells nice and is edible? And if it is, let's see if we can even get some flavor in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then kind of back to my first conversation with the friend about saying, hey, if you figure out this massage oil that absorbs into the skin, everyone's going to want it. Well, then we start meeting with the labs about our dream product, and they, in a nice way, laughed at us. And we're like, yeah,
Good luck with that.
That's just, yeah, good luck. But that's not reality. And then I'm going to really speed up this last 6 years of the development. What ended up happening is the first lab, as I mentioned, and we went to some really nice labs, and they said, you're not going to be able to do that, but here's probably some things you can accomplish with your goals. And so we went down that road and accomplished some of the action items. And then we took from there, and they referred us to another lab. And then we would work on it a little more. And then they would refer us to another lab. And sometimes they wouldn't have answers, but they would have somebody else to refer us to. And so we went through that process literally for 6 years, meeting with labs all over the United States. But we are humbled and excited to be able to say we actually accomplished it. So we have truly developed a 100% natural ingredient product that is a massage oil and intimate lubricant. It smells amazing. It's edible. It's flavored, and it absorbs into your skin like a moisturizer, nourishes even intimate tissues. And it's a cream that goes on very clean, adds a playful component, and with the temperature of your skin, it melts into a liquid. And so it's a cool experience in and of itself.
You have it there with you. Do you have one?
We do.
Can you show that?
Yeah. So we have, the reason we're holding two, you'll see the color difference is one is orange, and that's pineapple orange.
And the green is coconut lime.
Which is my favorite.
I know, mine too. Okay. So this is the cream.
Well, the cameras just make it kind of hard to see. So we did talk about that everybody knows that oils are messy and go all over the place.
Yes.
But so yeah, the product itself, if someone wants to imagine what it is like, imagine a whipped butter at a really nice restaurant. And when you look at it, it just looks like soft to touch and super silky and smooth.
Yeah.
And that's the way this product is. And similar to taking that whipped butter and putting it maybe on a warm roll that's then going to have temperature that causes it to melt to a liquid. Mm-hmm. That's how this works. Mm-hmm. But the temperature of your body or your body heat causes it to melt down into that liquid form. Yeah. And it is so fun when we show people the product and they put it on their skin and then watch it happen. Yeah. Most of the time, people actually make a verbal expression of like, ooh, wow, or something. So anyways, just kind of fun for people to know.
But you just can take some, and then when you put it on your skin and you kind of just rub it around a little bit, it kind of just turns into a liquid. As you use it, it can, a little actually goes quite a long way. But then after you're done, it kind of just feels like it absorbs into your skin like a moisturizer.
Love it.
Which is so cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I seriously love it. And the coconut lime is my absolute favorite. I'm like a big coconut lime person anyway, so it's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I love how pretty it is. Like, it doesn't look, yes. Like, I just have it on my nightstand and, it doesn't look weird. It just looks like, a jar of moisturizer or something, really pretty. So it's not like this garish bottle sitting out or something you want to hide away.
Absolutely. We get a ton of feedback on that. We didn't anticipate that. We wanted to make it pretty and nice, but yeah, it's amazing how many people make that same comment.
Yes. If you're anything like the couples I work with, you love each other, but sometimes it feels like you're missing each other. Whether it's miscommunication, intimacy struggles, or just feeling like roommates instead of lovers, it doesn't have to stay that way. That's where couples coaching comes in. I've recently added more flexible options for coaching. So whether you're looking for just a few sessions to work through something specific, or you're ready for a deeper dive, there's now a package that fits your needs and your schedule. Consultations for fall are now open, and this is the perfect time to get the support your relationship deserves. But don't wait. My calendar fills up quickly, and once spots are gone, they're gone. In coaching, we create a space for both of you to feel seen, heard, and understood. You'll learn how to communicate better, reconnect emotionally, and build a sexual relationship that feels safe, exciting, and meaningful for both of you. So if you've been thinking about coaching, or even if you've looked into it before, head to amandalauder.com/couples to learn more and grab your spot. Your marriage is worth it. Such a great product inside and out. Okay, so I think it's really important to understand why this has been so important for your relationship. I think it's a great product. I hope everybody tries it, and we're going to tell them at the end where they can get it. But I really think that, focusing on what changed in your relationship is the key to this, because that makes a big difference. Like, it sounds like you guys already had a good relationship beforehand, maybe a good intimate relationship. Like, the fact, Natalie, that you just allow him to give you a massage, I'm telling you, so many of my listeners will hear that and go, the husbands will go, I wish my wife would let me give her a massage, right? Or so many of the wives would go, I wish my husband would be willing to give me a massage, and that's not happening in the relationship. So I think that says a lot about the two of you and the relationship that you have. But I want to know, like, how creating this product and using it has changed your relationship. Talk to me about the impact that it's had on your intimacy, your connection, and even your sexual relationship.
Okay, I'll take this one. No, like you said, I think we did have a great relationship. And I love that you pointed that out. Yeah, I was willing to let him give me a massage. Thank you for putting it like that.
Yes.
But really, it was good. I mean, and even great, I would say. However, with a lot of the research and development, we got to practice with lots, and it was great. I got tons of massages.
That's awesome.
No, but I would say that for sure, I think that we're way more intimate now than we were prior to having Evree. It's made it, I mean, if I'm just being completely honest, it's just made it way more fun.
Good.
Way for me, especially. I think for him too. But I think that it's just kind of allowed us to be a little more, I don't know what you want to say necessarily, but a little more adventurous and just try fun things and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's really enhanced our intimacy. I feel that I want to be intimate more often than I was before.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because it feels better.
Okay, good. Good. That's what we like to hear.
It does. It's just more pleasurable, and so you want that more, right?
Mm-hmm.
If something feels good, then you want to, and so I think that maybe I initiate it more now, whereas before I mean I still would sometimes, but I think that having this product, it's like I know what the outcome will be.
Yes.
if I initiate. So I don't know. Is that
no? That's great. That's great. And I would say we're probably about the same age, right? And I'm fully in perimenopause. I mean, now I'm in surgical menopause after I have my hysterectomy, but before that, like, there was a lot of dryness that happens with a lack of estrogen. And so having a good lubricant, and even just all over in my skin, like not just in, the vulva and vaginal areas, but like my skin overall has been much drier with the lower estrogen. And I've loved Evree for that part of it as well. Like, it's replenishing a lot of the moisture that my skin everywhere needs, which makes everything more pleasurable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how many. So one of the things, Amanda, that has kind of shocked me with launching this product is how many people have reached out unsolicited
Yeah.
to express gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been a lot of, and it's all over the charts of why they're grateful.
Yeah.
But reason you just hit, we hear that often.
We get that one
In
often.
fact, we just got one the other day where a lady said, I feel like I'm 23 again.
Ah, that's so fun. Good. So I think I would love to know if you can think of anything, something that you've learned that has affected your intimacy and connection through this process that you wish you'd known earlier in your marriage.
I have a thought, but I mean, I don't know, Natalie might see it differently, but I think communication, verbal communication, because one, we're developing this and as you know, or in that process rather, just created conversation about the texture and how it felt and etc. And I think that opened up the dialogue to be able to talk about intimacy more comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that impacted the communication in our relationship across the board. So that would be my answer to that question.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think another thing is that I feel like when you become more intimate, I think that you become more intentional. I don't know, throughout the day. I guess that you could do it either way, but for me personally, it's like I became more intimate even outside of the bedroom, just like flirty things,
Yes.
wanting to touch his arm or to hold hands or just kind of things like that. It's like a different connection. So that's something that I learned that I didn't necessarily know before.
Mm.
It's like this intimacy brought a new level of connection just on the day-to-day.
Yeah. I think what you're speaking to is when you have really good intimacy and connection inside the bedroom, that translates inside the bedroom as well. And it's kind of the chicken and egg kind of situation. Like, more communication, more emotional intimacy outside the bedroom translates to better intimacy in the bedroom. But then you're infusing the rest of your marriage with that sexual energy that, creates the flirtiness and the playfulness that moves into the bedroom like as well. So it just kind of all becomes an integrated process rather than like there's outside the bedroom and there's inside the bedroom.
Yeah. That's a good way of
Yeah,
putting it.
I would
Thank you.
agree with that too. Yeah, that as you were saying, I'm like, yeah, that all makes sense.
Yeah. So a lot of my listeners are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as are you, and they're navigating this intersection of faith and sexuality. What would you say to couples who feel a bit awkward or uncomfortable about having these conversations like Lubricant or trying something new in their intimate life based on you just said that it improved your communication and your ability to talk about these things. So what would you tell couples about this?
I take it or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't even know. I would say just start at some point, whether or not you have the Evree or not. I think the communication is so key. And I know it might feel a little bit embarrassing or something maybe, but I think when you start to have that open dialogue and communication, you'll see if everybody knows what's our motto is always assume the best and do your best, right? So if you're assuming that whatever your partner's coming to you is out of love and maybe out of concern, maybe whatever it is, that they want, take it as a compliment and maybe present it that way too, that, hey, I want this to be good for both of us.
Yeah.
And I want you to want that too,
Yeah.
Want it good for everybody. It just enhances so much of your daily life, all of it. So
Yeah, I would echo what Natalie said. And if you wanted to get into like the scriptures and the doctrine, we're sexual beings and there is a reason we have that drive. And it has a lot of one of the things I've considered in looking at it is there's a lot of health benefits by just having healthy intimacy in your marriage outside of the emotional benefits and everything else. So yeah, I think it's something that should be embraced and not be shy about. And I also think, I don't know that there's a right or wrong way, but in fact, we've even learned this from you in some regards, but the value of being open with the dialogue and educating, not just having the communication with ourselves, but even our children and in our family. And I've come to a position to say that it's a great blessing to have in our life, and it needs to be respected.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes we miss the respect side of it, and we cover that up with it's bad because we don't want our kids to mess up or get engaged into intimate relationships prematurely. And that it ends up with this negative idea around it. And so if we can keep that dialogue positive, and like Natalie said, a motto we have in our relationship and in our home is assume the best and do the best.
I love that.
And so if you take that attitude with the things we just discussed, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, where can people find Evree if they want to try it? And I hope they do. And is there anything else you want our listeners to know?
In terms of where to get it, we have it on our website and you can buy it there, and then we just ship it to your home in discreet packaging, and we ship daily Monday through Friday, so it does come to you quickly. The URL for our website is evreesensation.com, and Evree is spelled EVREE. So evreesensation.com. And then because you've been so kind to invite us on here, we wanted to express gratitude by giving our audience a discount. So if they use Amanda10 as a promo code when they're checking out, they'll also get a discount.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And one of the things I actually love when you ship it is you ship it with an ice pack. So it's not gonna, even when it's hot outside, it's not gonna melt in the shipping part. So I think that's ingenious. But I will say, even if it does melt, it still works well.
Yes, you were right on the money. It's designed that it can change temperature and melt, and it will come back to form, and it'll work perfectly. It does sometimes lose a little bit of the whipped fill, and it becomes a little bit more solid. Not like a balm by any means, but we're a little particular. We aim for perfection, and so we do wrap it in an insulated wrap and then put a cool pack in with it. But if it does melt, they don't need to be concerned that it's going to ruin the integrity of the product. But yeah, that's just a little extra touch we try to put on.
Well, you guys have literally thought of everything. I really appreciate the attention to detail because I think it makes for a fabulous product.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thanks for what you're doing. Sincerely, it's impacted our family and our relationship. So thank you
for that. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for being here. It was so great to be with you today. Like what you're hearing on this podcast? Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Don't forget to leave me a review and share it with your friends.